Welcome to Power Up Memphis. I'm your host, Gale Jones Carson, the Vice President of Community and External Affairs for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. The aim of Power Up Memphis is to take you, our customers, on an inside tour of MLGW, to share our programs and operations with you. And by doing so, we can all better understand how we function as your utility provider. Today's guests are Kimberly Griswold, who is the Water Quality Assurance Manager, and Virgil Deanes, who is the Gas Engineering and Operations Manager. So, Kimberly, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Power Up Memphis. I want to congratulate you on your promotion to the manager of the Water Quality Assurance Laboratory. I am so proud. I was expecting and hoping for that promotion. So, Kimberly, one of the things that MLGW takes great pride in is the diversity of employees and leadership that we have at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. So tell us a little bit, as we continue to try to recruit more employees at MLGW, tell us, how did you get here? How did you become this manager in the Water Quality Laboratory, which is amazing to me?
So I would like to say first, thank you for having me. So my journey into water begun at Alabama A&M University. Oh, okay. So I graduated from A&M in December of 2007 with a degree in chemistry.
Chemistry, you know that's hard.
Yes,
you know
yes.
That's hard. Okay.
So at the time I was a little unsure of what area of chemistry I wanted to zone in on. So I decided to take a post-baccalaureate internship in the state of Washington. And at that site, I worked in environmental science. Okay. So that's where my journey in water began.
So that would be considered a STEM, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So let me ask you this. Did you start in elementary school and junior high school? How did you get on the journey of chemistry?
Okay, so we want to go way back. So this is one of my favorite stories. And no one believes me when I tell them, but this is exactly how it happened. I was in the 3rd grade. And my elementary school teacher, Miss Tevin, had spent the day discussing volcanoes. Okay. We learned how volcanoes are formed. We learned about eruptions, but the whole day learning about volcanoes. And then a little bit after lunch, she was like, we're going to make our own volcanoes. Okay. And it's going to explode. And everybody in the class was like, no, that's not possible. That's not going to happen. So she's like, but first we must design, we must paint our volcano. Okay. So we took a styrofoam cup, we took modeling clay, and we made little volcanoes. We painted them black and brown and red. So then she was like, make sure that you leave your cup right side up and you leave the opening open. So we were like, okay. She's like, okay, now we're all going to go outside. I'm going to give you 2 things. I'm going to give you baking soda, and I'm going to give you vinegar. Okay. Okay, let's go. So she gave us those 2 things. She said, now, put the baking soda in your cup first. Okay. We did that. She said, now pour the vinegar in. Okay. And of course, when you do those things, you get the fizzle. Okay. And we add a little drop of red food coloring, so it looked like lava. Okay. And at that point in the 3rd grade, I decided I'm going to be a scientist.
Oh, wow.
So that's actually where my STEM journey started. Okay, so you started there, that you knew then what you wanted to be. So was it your counselor who told you what classes you needed to take to become a technical professional? So that process actually probably began in high school. Okay. High school was the point where I told my guidance counselor, well, I want to be a scientist. She was like, okay, what type of scientist? And I was like, I didn't think there were different types. I thought all scientists were just scientists. She was like, no, we need to focus. Do you want to go into biology? Do you want to go to engineering? Do you want to go into chemistry? Do you want to do mathematics? There's different types of areas of science that you can go into.
I'm learning something right now.
Yes, so I decided to focus on chemistry. Okay. And so that's where my journey began at A&M. Okay. And A&M was very big in making sure that we all participated in internships. Okay. Even within chemistry, you can be an analytical chemist, you can be an organic chemist, you can be a material chemist. There's subsets. So after my internship in Washington, I decided I love environmental science. It allowed me to help people while also helping the environment. And also I could be inside.
Okay.
So that was a big point for me. From my experience in Washington, then I moved to Memphis, and I began working for the city of Memphis at the wastewater treatment plant.
Wastewater, this out in Fraser, right? Or is
It's in, there's a location in, there's 2 locations. One is in Fraser,
Okay.
and then the other location is near the docks. So basically it's on one side of Mud River and then the opposite side of Mud River. So I began working at the wastewater treatment plant, and I completely loved that experience, and I moved from a laboratory analyst to a quality assurance officer. So quality assurance officer, I handled all the regulatory requirements, making sure that all the tests they were ran with confidence, accuracy, and precision.
Wow, okay.
So from my time of being with the city of Memphis, MLGW posted the position in the water laboratory for a water quality assurance officer, which is also a quality assurance. So I took that role.
Okay.
I worked that role for 5 years. I obtained my grade 4 water license during that time.
Okay.
And I familiarized myself with the Memphis water operations and structure and regulatory requirements required by the state of Tennessee.
So I kind of really wanted to talk that journey, because I would like for our viewing audience to know that at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, we have almost every job, every profession at this utility. And so we'll be focusing on some of the jobs that we have here at MLGW and how people can really get some of those jobs and what's required as we try to fill a lot of jobs at MLGW. So thank you for sharing that with us. So now we have the water quality report, which was recently released. So can you tell us what this quality report is about, who it's available to, and why we do that report?
So the water quality report, also known as the Consumer Confidence Report, is a state regulatory article.
Okay.
So the purpose of the report is to provide the citizens of Memphis with laboratory data and informational data as it relates to their water system. So they can see the contaminants that we test for, and also answer a lot of need-to-know questions. Why do you all test for this? Who do I call if I see this? What meetings can I attend if I want to know more about the water system? So the report is available on the MLGW homepage. I believe it's going to be in the right-hand corner. It's a water quality report. And then we also have previous year's reports available as well.
And that's MLGW.com.
Yes.
That you can find our current report as well as some older past reports that we have.
Yes, ma'am.
So if someone needed for us to mail them a copy, we would also be able to do that.
Yes, they can contact the water laboratory at 901-320-3962, or also by email at waterlab@mlgw.org, and we'd be more than happy to mail out the report.
Okay, so Memphis takes great pride in having some of the best tasting water in the country. So why is that? Why do we have such great water? So I do know when I go to other cities, I can't drink the water. I have to get bottled water.
Memphis is actually known for having some of the sweetest water in the country, and that is because we are in a unique situation where we are a 100% groundwater source.
Okay.
Meaning that we pull our water from the ground in wells all over the Memphis area. So a lot of other cities, they have surface water. So with surface water, it's exposed to the elements. It's exposed to the environment around it. With a groundwater source, you can essentially think of your water being in a cup with a lid on top. And MLGW serves as the straw. And that's how we pull up our water.
Okay. Okay, so Kim, we recently have had two times that I know of, that I don't know that we've had in the history of MLGW, a water boil in early 2023 and as well 2022. Why did we have to do the water boil, and was there really any danger for our customers?
So the boil water advisory were precautionary advisories. So there are operation requirements when it comes to running a water utility. One of those requirements is pressure.
Okay.
So during both the 2020, the events for the past 2 years, the pressure in our system dropped due to freezing temperatures.
Okay.
So when the pressure dropped, it caused the potential for the water to become stagnant in certain areas. And when that happens, MLGW worked with our regulatory agency to issue a precautionary boil water advisory in case of contaminants. So that's why, so it was precautionary because we didn't find any contaminants, but we rather play it safe than for our customers to suffer.
And so during those times, we had to submit samples to the state.
Yes, ma'am.
They made sure that there were no contaminants, and we did it for a certain period of time, and then they relieved us from having to do the water boil, continue the water boil.
Yes, so how this process works is MLGW was in close contact with the state of Tennessee, who is our regulatory agency. So to show our confidence in our water quality, in both events, we ran over 100 samples in a matter of 2 days, on top of our regulatory samples that we do. So for both advisories, we focus primarily in the northern Shelby County and southeast Shelby County. So the laboratory personnel went to those sites, collected the samples, analyzed them in our certified laboratory, and then reported back to the state what we found. In some incidents, the state was like, well, we'd like to see more samples in this area. We want a little bit more samples in this area. Can we sample all the pumping stations? So we happily complied, and we made sure that those things happened. Once the state was satisfied with those numbers and with the data, that include bacteriological testing and chlorine testing, then we lifted the precautionary boil water advisory.
Okay, so you mentioned testing. So we do testing every day of our water. How many samples or how many tests do we do daily of our water in Memphis?
So we have 10 pumping stations located across Memphis. And those pumping stations are tested 5 days a week. A water operator goes to those pumping stations 7 days a week. I'm sorry, correct. It's tested 7 days a week. So, I would say we run about between maybe 200 samples a week.
A week, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's a lot of testing, but we need it because we want to make sure our water is safe. Now, one of the concerns that some customers have sometime throughout the year is that they have brown water. Why do some customers have brown water, and is there a concern about brown water?
So brown water can be caused by a number of factors. For instance, fire protection in your area, hydrant flushing, construction, not using your water for a number of time. So water contaminants fall into two categories: a health category and an aesthetic category. Surprisingly, to many, brown water is an aesthetic issue.
Oh, not a health issue.
Brown water could be an indicator of health, but it's not the only indicator. So technically, your brown water is safe. But because of the aesthetic issue, no one wants to drink brown water. So if a customer has brown water, we greatly encourage them to contact the water laboratory.
And what's that number again?
The number is 901-320-3962, or by email at waterlab@mlgw.org.
But there's really not a major health concern, for the most part, with brown water. There are a number of reasons that causes the brown water, and it could be the lack of using the water often, some other issues, the fire hydrant, and some other work that may be done that may cause water to be brown. Kimberly, I do want to thank you for coming on the show, sharing this valuable information about our wonderful water in Memphis, and also telling us about your journey to becoming a water quality professional and what it took to get there, and allowing others to see that they can too follow your journey as well if they want to be a chemist. Thank you so much, Kimberly, and congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us and returning to Power Up Memphis. My guest this segment is Virgil Deanes, who is the Gas Engineering and Operations Manager for MLGW. So, Virgil, thank you so very much for being with us today.
Glad to be here.
So, Virgil, before we began talking about the Safety and Preparedness Program, or SiPP, at MLGW, one of the things I would like for our viewing audience to know is, number one, you're an engineer, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you have worked in various roles at MLGW.
Correct.
What made you decide to become an engineer?
Choosing the engineering field kind of came out of a curiosity. It came out of a likeness to math and science in those fields.
But wasn't that hard?
Study. Yeah, there's a desire and to want to accept challenges, and so I was always one of those who wanted that challenge academically. So naturally, the math and the sciences are challenging fields.
So today we're going to be talking about the SiPP program, which is Safety and Preparedness Program. Tell us about that program.
Okay.
It's new too, right?
It is a new program. I think it's a program where MLGW senior leadership kind of got together in the spirit of looking at what we could do to better not only prepare ourselves internally for storms and extended outages and things of that nature, but what we could do to help prepare our customers.
Okay.
So kind of out of that brainstorming effort, this initiative, a program, was born.
Okay, so basically it's like, if we have a storm, these are things that our customers need to do.
Correct.
As well as our employees, who are our customers also.
Correct. But mainly it's focused on our customers.
Okay.
And that's just it. The objective is to increase customer awareness, right, and let our customers know what they can do to better prepare for inclement weather or extended utility outages.
So what can our customers do?
So what we did, we got together and we brought together subject matter experts, and we and we looked at our energy services team that goes out and visit our customers in their homes and look at weatherization opportunities. We brought together gas engineering, we brought together water engineering, and then corporate communication was there kind of assisting us along the way. And so basically what we're doing is coming up with information that's beneficial to our customers to again help them prepare for storms or inclement weather, extended outages.
So if a customer smells gas, if there is a gas leak, what safety procedures or precautions should that customer take?
Yeah. So as part of what we've done with this team, the gas engineering team will go out as part of our meeting with the customers, and we'll talk about things of that nature. So we'll talk about calling 811, right, before you dig, right? Now, this time of the year, a lot of customers are planting shrubberies, right? They're putting fences around their homes. They're putting in mailboxes and things like that. So those small tasks, you may not think about it or realize it, but you have to call 811 before you do that. It's the law.
811 before you dig.
811, you have to do that. So we talk about that. We also talk about...
But so let me ask you this. So if a customer does not call, you said it's a law that they have to call before they dig. If they don't and they hit an underground pipe or something, what happens?
They're held liable for that. And
so is there a fine or?
There are fines, but more important than a fine, it's danger, right? They can be harmed.
So is it like a gas line under line? I mean, what is it?
There are all kind of utilities. You have cable lines, you have electric lines, you have gas lines, you have water lines. So all of those utilities. So MLGW, once you call that number, MLGW will come out and they will mark those utilities for you, so you can avoid them.
So they'll know where not
service.
to dig.
Exactly, it's a free service.
And it's a free service.
Yes, about 3 days. You call in about 3 days, they'll come out and mark it.
Great. So that's a free service that's provided to our customers.
That's correct. Okay. And so one of the other things we talk about on the gas side is we talk about our gas facilities, right? We talk about we show them a picture of what they look like. Our gas facilities are our gate stations, our regulator stations, and these facilities are in your backyards. They're they're throughout the community. And so we make sure they know what they look like and what to do in the event that, if someone's some vandalism is going on or they're around those facilities, that they should call the law enforcement or MLGW. So that's important. It's dangerous, and that'll impact the reliability. We don't want service to be interrupted because someone is, having some vandalism at our facilities. We also talk about a gas leak, what gas smells like. We give a little scratch sniff card to help our customers understand what it smells like. So if they get that smell, we also give them information in terms of what they should do.
And so the smell is sort of like an egg,
rotten egg smell.
A rotten egg smell, and we put odorant.
Correct.
Because gas normally doesn't have a smell.
That's correct. Gas, by nature, is odorless. So we add mercaptan to it, and that gives it the rotten egg smell. Okay,
so if we have a gas leak, like from our stove, if we have a gas stove, it also has that odor? So
yes.
So it's automatically, it's not automatically, but that odorant is put in all of our gas
Correct.
stuff.
We add that odorant to our gas when it enters the city. Okay. When it enters at our gate station. Okay. So when gas enters Shelby County, it's added at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's a gas leak or something and the family sleep, that odor may wake them up, correct. Possibly. Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And then also our energy services team. So they will speak on weatherization, right? And they will talk to our customers about things you can do in your home from an insulation standpoint, whether it be your windows and doors. They will, your attic space, and they provide that information. They also provide information on carbon monoxide safety, as well as if you have a fireplace, safety around that.
But the weatherization piece, if our customers take that information and use any of it, ultimately it is designed to reduce their energy consumption.
Correct.
Which has a direct impact on the cost of their utilities.
That is correct. That is correct. And that's a service that MLGW provides, this energy services team. You call them, they will come out to your home, they will do an assessment, and
there's no cost.
There's no cost to it. They have a number. It's 901-528-4188.
528-4188 for a free energy audit.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct. And then the other piece we talk about is the water side, right? So we have a water engineering team that comes out, and they talk about insulating your pipes in your home, water pipes. They talk about what you should do in the event that you have a leak in your home, how to go out to the water meter and cut off that water, right? They talk about if your water, if we have a low pressure condition throughout the city, and then a water boil advisory is issued, they talk about what to do in that case as well.
So this year and last year, which we've had this in years past, but the last couple of years we've just had these extreme freezing temperatures,
correct,
which caused a lot of pipes in homes and throughout the city and county to burst. So do they talk about how to protect those pipes from freezing temperatures?
Correct. They'll give you tips on how to do that, whether it's opening up your cabinet doors, if you can wrap certain pipes that might be exposed to exterior
running,
walls.
Dripping water.
Yes, yes.
So some have, do you drip it? Do you run it? You know.
You kind of can gauge it from the standpoint of really where those pipes are located. So if you're close to exterior walls, you want to kind of give it a nice, steady stream. To be safe at that point.
So the safety and preparedness program, how successful has it been to date?
Well, the goal of the program is to reach 5,000 MLGW customers. And
is that per year or?
That's this year.
This year,
That's the goal.
Okay.
And to provide them with this information And so what we're doing is we're meeting our customers in the community. So we're meeting at the main library. We're meeting them at senior.
So you're having public meetings. And as a matter of fact, I did see a list of areas all over Shelby County.
Correct.
Where we MLGW employees, staff, will be having these public meetings for our customers to attend, and they can learn all of this information about safety in electric, gas, and water in our community.
And that's this program. So we're meeting at main libraries, we're meeting at our community centers, and we're meeting at senior community centers.
As we close, Virgil, and I do greatly appreciate you coming on and sharing all this wonderful information with us, what would you like to say to our audience about this program or about safety in general? Yeah,
well, for me, it was definitely a learning experience for me to be part of this because in the engineering world, we work behind the scenes when it comes to our utilities.
Okay.
And this program really deals with the customer in terms of after the meter, right? So on the engineering side, we do a lot of our work up to the customer meter. In terms of design, whether it's designing the system, working on the system, improving it. But this program is focused on the customer, what the customer can do to help improve their safety and their preparedness for a storm. As I mentioned, senior leadership got together, and we always talk about what we can do and what we should be doing internally to better prepare for storms, right? This is reaching out to the customer and saying, hey, there are some things that you can do as well. And so I think this program is real good in terms of it reaches out to the customer, and we're going out to the customer in their space and in their communities to talk to them about this. So been a lot of great questions from them, and I think this is going to really be a good program from MLGW.
Great, Virgil, and I appreciate your leadership with Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. I appreciate the leadership that MLGW is taking to go to the next step for storm preparedness. We, as you say, are always trying to improve what we do. Now we're trying to make sure our customers are safe and their families are safe, and providing additional information for them to make sure that they are safe. Memphis Light, Gas, and Water strives to be a good corporate neighbor, and one of the ways that we do that is by giving back to our community. MLGW participated in the Junior Achievements What's Next College, Career, and Technical Expo, where almost 3,500 students from 32 middle and high schools attended. At the MLGW booth, students carefully maneuvered a ride through the Don't Get Buzzed game. On Saturday, May 13th, MLGW University hosted their STEM program graduation. The graduation involved 30 students from various elementary schools who participated in the STEM program over the course of several weeks. Students in the 3rd through the 5th grade received a celebratory lunch, gifts, and certificates of completion. Thank you for allowing us to share with you some of the ways that we are giving back to our community.
You're watching the Library Channel, a broadcast service of the Memphis Public Libraries and the City of Memphis.